Hey, welcome back to our second episode of my podcast, Just Talking with Leo. We just did our last podcast. I believe it was Tuesday it came out. I think for me, just going on the fly, that went pretty well. I talked to a couple of people about my podcast. They said it was pretty decent. And so I'll take that. I'll take that. That's a lot better than I thought it was gonna be, especially with the the recording equipment I have in my room and all that stuff. But it turns out it was pretty good, and so I'm happy for that. I'm hoping this episode will be pretty good. I actually have topics and discussion points I want to talk about. I'm not just going to freeball it again, but for a couple topics I might do that. Okay. First things first, I want to talk about our Twitter. Please go on our Twitter and do all the polls. Probably if you didn't do last week's, which most of you didn't, but I don't blame you. I didn't really talk about it a lot on the last pod. But please, after this episode, go on the Twitter, vote what you guys believe in. I just want to see your guys' opinions on my Twitter and about the topics I discuss, because whatever I usually think about something, I usually think that's what the majority of people think, but that's never always the case. So please go on that Twitter, poll it up, vote it up, please. Also, I don't know what you're listening to this on. We do have a Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, want to go on to Spotify, the link's in the description. If you're on Spotify, want to go on YouTube, it's going to be the description. Same thing with Apple as well. Let's just get into the first topic. Now, I'm noticing in my notes that I have for all the topics, which are on my phone, they're all food related. It's probably because I haven't had dinner yet, you know? But I just want to start off with a banger. I think our first topic last week was pretty good, so let me just start it off with something that is very unpopular. I might call this segment like an unpopular opinion, because I do have a lot of those. I believe that the Oreo is very overrated. I don't know why people talk about Oreo as it's the best cookie in the market when damn well there's a Chips Ahoy soft cookie. Or I'm actually a hard cookie man. I know that's pretty unpopular. I know a lot of people, if they go for the Chips Ahoy, they go for the soft one. The hard one always tastes better with milk. That's crazy what I just said there. Back onto the Oreo. The flavor of Oreo is just chocolate and like I wouldn't even say the frosting is like vanilla flavored. I don't really know. It's like its own like mysterious flavor. And it's the best part about it is a frosting. And most of the time when people have an Oreo cookie, I've seen this a lot, they just have the frosting. And at that point, you're not having a cookie, you're just having the frosting on top of the cookie. It's the same thing with a cupcake. If you only like the cupcake for the frosting, you don't like cupcakes, you just like frosting. I believe if you like Oreos, you do not in fact like the Oreo cookie. You're a frosting person. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a frosting person, but call yourself a frosting person. Don't call yourself a cookie person and mention Oreos as your first cookie of choice. But there's a reason why no one makes an Oreo cookie. Because you can't make a cookie like an Oreo, which I know may sound like a valid like point. It's honestly an unvalid point because the best cookies out of all of them are the homemade cookies fresh out of the oven. And with the Oreo, you simply cannot do that. Now, sure, you can make this janky cookie that resembles an Oreo, but it's not gonna taste as good as the Oreo. And I still don't even like the Oreo, and I'm saying this. Best type of cookie out there is chocolate chip or double chocolate. Give me any of those two, I'll be fine. I don't need any macadamia nuts, which are really good, but I'm taking a chocolate chip and a double chocolate over everything. I feel like for some reason, especially in this trimester of school, whenever I'm in a classroom, I always see someone drinking a can of Coke or a bottle of Coke. And to be honest, I don't like Coke, and I don't know why anyone would choose Coke over Pepsi and especially Dr. Pepper, which is better in Coke in every facet. I don't know how Coke became the number one brand of soda and all this. I don't know how Coke became the number one brand of soda without not even having the best soda. To me, that amazes me. I don't know how Coke owns soda company that is already better than Coke. That just it baffles me. Coke owns I'm sorry, I had to look it up. Coke owns Barks Root Beer, Body Armor, Coca-Cola, of course, Dasani, which is the worst water imaginable. I don't care what anyone says, Dasani is absolute garbage water. Coke owns Fanta and Fresca, two of the best sodas, a good Fresca, a good original Fresca. I don't think any, especially how simple it is, it destroys a Sprite. And the best soda ever, besides like if you're not in the mood for all that sugary stuff, even though there's still going to be the same amount, but if you want like a less sugary based flavor, then you go with a Dr. Pepper, right? I mean, I don't know why anyone would go with a Coke over a Dr. Pepper, unless you don't have taste buds, which that's fine. It's fine if you don't have taste buds, but just I don't want to hear your opinion about stuff, you know? And so the best sugary soda, or if you're just looking for that sweet flavor, is Fanta by all means, but especially pineapple Fanta. Pineapple Fanta, it recently came into my eyes. Hey, yo. It has recently come upon me within the past couple years, I would say less than 3 years. And I don't even have the pineapple Fanta. I really don't see the pineapple Fanta anymore. Which I don't know why. It's far better than the strawberry flavor of Fanta. And I would say even the grape flavor of Fanta. And especially the orange flavor of Fanta. But the pineapple flavor, it's just I don't think anything could beat that. It's nice and sweet. It tastes like pineapples. And you know what the thing about this pineapple is? The best fruit. I'm surprised that the pineapple doesn't have more soda options. Because to me, the pineapple is the best fruit. By far, I'll debate any fruit over the pineapple. One of the worst fruits, in fact, and most overrated, is watermelon. I don't know why people talk such a big game about watermelon. If people that like watermelon flavored things, they're not tasting watermelon. It might say watermelon flavoring, but it just doesn't taste like a watermelon. A watermelon is just some sugar with some water. And it's almost like kind of like this cotton candy thing. If a cotton candy fruit existed, it would be a watermelon because how soft and dainty it is, and is the worst juice for a smoothie imaginable. Is the worst homemade juice by far. Even an apple, which I would consider a worse fruit than a watermelon, has a better juice. I know I'm talking about a lot of topics here. I'm getting off topic a lot. But I'm gonna go back on topic. The Coke, especially Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Cherry Coke is pretty good, but it's still far worse than Dr. Pepper Cherry or Pepsi Cherry, you know. I just think it's kind of crazy when people always discount Pepsi for whatever reason. I don't know why whenever it comes to sodas, Pepsi always gets a bad rap. There was this thing in the 90s, this ad, and I'm pretty sure this is real. This could easily be fake. I'm pretty sure I saw this somewhere that it was real. So Pepsi blindfolded, took random people off the street, right? They blindfolded 10 of them and they made them choose between a Coke and a Pepsi. And Pepsi dominated Coke. I'm pretty sure all 10 people that picked Pepsi, which I know this sounds like of course, it's a Pepsi ad, but I'm pretty sure it was real and the real deal. And it was one of the reasons why Coke changed its flavor for a minute. Because there was this new thing called the new Coke or whatever. Then everyone absolutely hated it and they switched back to regular Coke. And then everyone started praising them again, which I think is ridiculous. Bottom line, Coca-Cola is very overrated, overhyped, and doesn't deserve one, let alone number two, let alone number three. Now, whenever I wake up in the morning, there is nothing better than coffee, and I mean that. I don't see why boba tea or tea in general is very good. To be fair, I never had bulba or I can't even pronounce it. Bubba? Bulba? It could be any kind of word that starts with a B. Bulma? I have no idea. And I'm never going to have it. It just looks so unappetizing. Even though I'm not even eating it, I'm drinking it, and I don't even want to eat it. Why would I want to eat a drink? That just doesn't sound good to me. And it's not even like a sweet. Well, sure, it can be sweet, obviously. But I'm saying it's like, at that point, it's not even tea anymore. Oh, I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a while. So, a lot of people, especially kids around my age, 17, 18, around my age, love Cane's, right? They think it's absolutely the best chicken they ever had. And the toast, oh my god, it's not like anything you ever had. The toast is amazing, right? And the sauce, oh my god, the sauce is so good, right? Well, that piece of chicken, I would rather go to Burger King and get a piece of fried chicken over Cane's. Cane's chicken is so dry and it doesn't have 1 ounce of seasoning on it. Do you know why people order the actual like large cup full of sauce? Because that chicken needs it. Okay? You don't go to a really good chicken place and just absolutely dunk your piece of chicken in the sauce. You might dip a little bit of the chicken in. That's because it only needs a little bit. If Cane's did not have that sauce, which you can easily make at home, by the way, it's not hard at all. It's very easy to make that sauce, just like ketchup and mayo. Ugh. It's If Cane's did not have that sauce, they would not be a successful restaurant. And it is crazy to me. And even their fries, there's no special thing about them. Even In-N-Out fries are better. And In-N-Out have some of the worst fries. There's nothing special about Cane's fries. I feel like they just came out straight out the microwave. They're like unseasoned Dollar General crinkle fries. And I just and people always talk about Cane's whenever me and my friends want to go out somewhere. It's always either Cane's or Panda Express, which is another garbage restaurant that is severely under seasoning everything. Oh my god, I might just go on a rant about Panda Express, because Panda Express, the fact that they just leave their food laying there on the ground, not on the ground, Jesus, laying there on the bowls, right? 30, 40 minutes. Then they have the audacity to, like, there's probably one bowl left, and they're coming in with a fresh tray of orange chicken to give me that nasty ass 40-minute-old orange chicken. And it's disgusting. And it's always so hard, and it's semi warm. It's not even it's semi warm. It's not even, I would rather at least have it be warm or cold. It's in this weird position where it's semi warm and you don't know how to feel about yourself when you're taking a bite of it. Also, the orange chicken there is all right, but if you get anything else, you're an absolute weirdo, especially if you don't get lo mein noodles. The lo mein noodles are pretty good, but the thing that always discounts me from ever going to a Panda Express is I always have to get the same thing every time because everything else on the menu is just not as good. Maybe a fried rice is okay, but in the end, it's just rice with no seasoning. I feel like, I don't know, I wish there was a restaurant, or at least a fast food restaurant that just learns how to season their food. Now let me go back on to Cane's. The Cane's toast is pretty good. I will give you that. But that's the only thing besides the sauce, I guess, that blows my socks off. Cane's needs to be stepped down a little bit. I think people, if they ever think about going to Cane's again, ordering Cane's and then going to like a regular restaurant and ordering the same thing, and you're realizing the restaurant quality, or even not even just a restaurant. If I go to another fast food place that specializes in chicken, just like how Cane's does, you would notice the difference in flavor immediately. And if you guys don't believe me on this, please order some Cane's chicken tenders or whatever, and then order any other chicken tender out there. Any other fast food, even McDonald's chicken tender, hell a lot better than Cane's. Now, maybe if McDonald's had a sauce like Cane's would just be destroyed. Quick little topic, because I just ranted about fast food for probably a couple minutes. But I've been going to Target a lot recently. I've also been to a Walmart once this week, and the night and day difference of how much better a Target is than a Walmart is absolutely crazy to me. Walmart I don't know, one of the most disgusting stores I've ever been inside of. It's the people that shop at Walmart consistently. I don't even ca- it doesn't I don't There's other cheap alternatives to Walmart that are far superior. I don't know why Walmart gets anything over Target. Target should be at Walmart's level, and yet it's not, which is very surprising to me. It's just the people I see at Walmart scares me sometimes. Like, I went to Walmart, I think on this last Sunday, right? And so I was going shopping with a couple of my family members, right? And so I'm going shopping, Christmas shopping, right? And so while I'm Christmas shopping, I see a dog walking like a human on two of its legs, wearing a crop top, matching its owner, who I'm not trying to be weightist. I'm a pretty big guy myself, but this girl is at least 600 pounds, and I'm not exaggerating here. I am being 100% honest, and there's nothing wrong with being 600 pounds, But I think there's something wrong wearing the smallest shirt imaginable and the smallest shorts imaginable, and your lips are hanging out, okay? I don't agree with that. Now, if you're a bigger girl and you're wearing a sweatpants and a hoodie, that's perfectly fine. If you want to wear a short t-shirt, that's perfectly fine. I really don't. If you want to wear shorts, that's fine. Just it looks like it's like I wasn't even trying to look at this woman, but my eyes could not stop. Cause how and this is the best part. I can't believe I forgot about this part to mention last. She had a mohawk. And so that is just like and not one person at that Walmart made a look at her. No one was gasped whenever she walked past them or made a weird face. That's just the Walmart experience. Now, is shopping at a Walmart more fun than Target? Perhaps, because you get to see people like that every day. You can see drug dealers, heroin addicts right outside of a Walmart. That might be pretty fun. Pretty fun time, I would say. But if you're just trying to survive, and just get what you need, go to Target. I'm sorry if you don't have the money, then go to Walmart. I'm not shaming you. I'm not shaming poor people. I'm just saying if you have the money to spend and you have the money to spend to go to Walmart over Target for a few dollars more, then I feel you belong to Walmart. Now, I want to do another hot take, and this hot take might be especially hot. If you know me, you know I always have a sports drink on me, and it's always between Powerade, Gatorade. Although I think the best sports drink out of all those is Prime. Prime is very good. It's just I feel like it's only at Walmart's, and you know how I feel about Walmart, so I'm really never going to be able to find Prime. But there's only two choices. You're not going to pick Body Armor over Powerade and Gatorade. But I feel like Powerade offers much more flavors, and I feel like it's bigger, even though probably is the same size. It's just the size of the bottle and the indents in it or whatever. But I feel like if you're just going purely off flavor alone, I feel like Powerade stomps on Gatorade. Now, what I've noticed during this winter season, during Christmas time, I would say, is a lot of people hating aunt. A lot of people hating on aunts. No, a lot of people are hating the mint chocolate chip flavored ice cream. Now, I personally think that's one of the better flavors of ice cream. Now, you usually hear me rant about stuff I don't like on this podcast. I'm gonna actually rant about how much better the mint chocolate chip ice cream is than a majority of ice creams. In fact, it's probably my second favorite flavor of ice cream behind the coffee. The coffee ice cream, I also believe, is the best flavor ice cream, especially with little chocolate chunks in it. Oh my. But a lot of people are hating on the mint chocolate chip because they say it tastes like toothpaste. But what I hate about people using that point is, do you eat gum? Right? And so if you ever have mint flavored gum, does it not taste good? I feel like people that hate mint chocolate chip ice cream simply just don't brush their teeth, and they don't like they just don't brush their teeth, and they have bad breath. I'm being blunt, and that is what it is, right? And so the mint chocolate chip ice cream is so unique. I feel it's probably the flavor that most reminds me of winter, besides like a no, that's it. That's the flavor that reminds me most of like winter. If you ask me to have a winter ice cream, I'm gonna pick mint chocolate chip. Honestly, everything with mint and chocolate is just a bomb. A lot of people don't like mint and chocolate, and in general, not even just in ice cream form, which is very weird because the flavors match with each other so well. Because like if you go with a dark chocolate, especially, nice little dark, rich flavor, and then the sweetness and peppermints are very good. Peppermint ice cream, oh my god, that's really good too. But it just embraces well with each other. And a lot of other ice cream flavors do not. Like, I'm gonna go a little rant here about how much I hate Neapolitan ice cream because Neapolitan ice cream is the worst ice cream ever made. For this reason alone, maybe if you go for an expensive Neapolitan at like an ice cream shop, it might be good. But if you ever go to the store and try to pick out the best Neapolitan ice cream, right? It's a combination of the three worst versions of that ice cream 99.999% 100% of the time. Strawberry ice cream, I never had a good strawberry ice cream in my life. I absolutely hate strawberry ice cream. It doesn't even really, it tastes like strawberries, but it just doesn't taste good. It leaves a weird like film on my mouth, I would say. And that chocolate flavor on that Neapolitan ice cream is the most bland, it's like I grabbed like the chocolate syrup, the isn't I think Hershey makes it, like the chocolate thing. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I grab the worst vanilla ice cream, which it's already with the Neapolitan. So it's almost like they're just grabbing the vanilla they use for the Neapolitan, grabbing that Hershey squeezable chocolate bottle. I just can't think of a name right now. Syrup. Oh my god, I can't believe I couldn't think of syrup, the chocolate syrup. And they just mixed it. And that's their idea of a chocolate ice cream. If you tell me that your favorite flavor of ice cream is Neapolitan, I don't know if I can be friends with you, let alone not kill you on the spot. Because you're an absolute psycho and I feel endangered. Honestly, I might just call this episode maybe like a food debate because I've only discussed foods and drinks on this episode. And honestly, I might just keep doing that for the rest of this episode. So now, I know me saying this right here, a lot of people are going to disagree with what I say. Now, besides like a margarita pizza or like a classic Neapolitan or Netropolitan, is that? I don't even know. And so, am I going to look it up? No. So, I'm going to keep both of them in there. And one of them are going to be right and one of them are going to be wrong. And I honestly really don't care. Besides those two types of pizza, a very great kind of pizza, that's my third, that never gives any love compared to all the rest of the pizzas, is a chicken Alfredo garlic pizza. Now, I know what you're saying right now. Alfredo? Alfredo is very good. And I know some people that don't like Alfredo. And I don't know, it pairs perfectly with the noodles. Alfredo is honestly if I just get a regular can of Alfredo and I get a regular can of red sauce, I believe 9 out of 10 times that Alfredo is going to taste better than the red sauce. Now, I will 100% agree with you on this that the best red sauce beats the best white sauce. But, I mean, you're going to have to, it takes so much longer to make a really good tomato sauce than an Alfredo sauce, in my opinion. But the chicken Alfredo garlic pizza, it just hits the spots on so many levels. I think chicken is a great topping on pizza. Honestly, I also believe pineapple belongs on pizza. Anything belongs on pizza, and I don't know why anyone would discourage people from trying new things on a pizza. You ever heard of a dessert pizza? A dessert pizza is pretty good, and most people wouldn't think a chocolate belongs on pizza, let alone marshmallows or whatever else you put on a dessert pizza or cinnamon or whatever. That's the beauty of pizza. Pizza is almost like a base. It's not even just a style I would put foods in. And you could put so many different foods under the pizza category, and it will just make it always taste better. So we're about like 40 minutes into the recording. I figured now is a good time to tell you to go subscribe. Go rate this podcast 5 stars, share with all your friends or whatever. Hopefully this is doing so good. Go on the Twitter and vote for the polls. Your opinions matter and I want to hear your opinions. So please take a couple minutes out of your day, probably even less than that. Back onto the podcast. Now, I know I mentioned McDonald's earlier on this podcast. Now, McDonald's breakfast possibly is the best thing that was ever made, right? And so, if McDonald's didn't have that wonderful breakfast, I think Wendy's is better than McDonald's in every single way, besides the breakfast options. Like, if you were to give me a spicy chicken nugget at Wendy's and a regular chicken nugget at McDonald's, I will always pick the Wendy's chicken nugget over the McDonald's. And I don't think I'm alone on this. I believe the McDonald's chicken nugget is one of the most overhyped, overrated pieces of food I have ever seen, ever heard, ever smelt, to be fair. I just think it just doesn't have any flavor. It has this slight, like, chickeny flavor, but I don't even know. Apparently it's made of like horse cock or something. I don't know. That's why I don't eat it. I don't it comes out of this like it's like the color of pink sauce when it gets made. and then they fry it, and then it's suddenly brown. I'm just confused. I don't know how colors change like that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, not only are the chicken nuggets at McDonald's not great, who the hell would order a fish item at McDonald's? Who would order the filet o fish? I'm sorry, I couldn't even pronounce it. How disgusted I am of the filet o fish. You're taking possibly the worst tasting animal, which is a fish. Now, I probably should have I probably should have just had a debate about why fish is not that good in general. One of the worst tasting animals, putting it on a decent bread. Like, why can't we have the hamburger? But the hamburger in those type of buns, the buns are really good. They're nice and steamed or whatever. You're putting mayonnaise on it, which I don't mind mayonnaise in moderation. It's honestly not that bad. But they always put way, and I mean way too much mayonnaise on this tiny little piece of fish. Then they have the audacity to not even get a full square of cheese. They give you a little corner and they put it in the middle and they say that's that and they give it to you. And you take a bite of it and it should be crunchy, right? It's fish. It should be nice. It's the softest thing, and it is absolutely. I just if I want someone that I know to tell me they like filet-o-fish, so I can just immediately stop being friends with them because we might as well get it over with now. And honestly, if you agree with me, you should do the same thing too. Tell your friends if they like filet-o-fish, murder them. Murder your friends if they like a filet-o-fish. It is honestly the worst thing in the world, and honestly, if you like the filet-o-fish, you're probably the next Hitler. Now, I think I'm gonna talk about fish probably for a little bit more on this podcast, but I'll calm down a little bit. I think I might have got a little aggressive earlier this episode about the filet-o-fish. Now, imagine two of the worst things in the world: a coconut and a shrimp, right? Two things that absolutely should go nowhere near each other, right? And people eat coconut shrimp. And I don't know why anyone who has taste buds that are over the age of 5 years old would ever eat a coconut shrimp, let alone all seafood. You know what? I'm just gonna go on a rant on seafood right here. Seafood is the most bland piece of meat, piece of food, any kind of seafood. You need an absurd amount of butter or a type of sauce or seasonings for it to be good. And not even good, I would say, just for you can eat it. I want someone, I would, I would gladly challenge someone to eat a whole lobster, and I would eat a piece of steak with not an ounce of seasoning or butter, or I won't even use oil. I'll just fry it on the pan. And I would bet you that steak will taste 10 times better than that lobster with absolutely no seasonings, nothing on it. And it's just fish are just some of the worst things you can imagine. Now, there's a huge debate on vanilla flavored things and chocolate flavored things. Now, when I tell you that anything with good chocolate versus anything made with a good vanilla, chocolate will always beat vanilla. I think vanilla ice cream is very bad ice cream. I don't know how anyone could just eat vanilla ice cream. In fact, most people have to put trash chocolate syrup on a vanilla ice cream to make it even palatable. Now, I know I talked about this earlier on this podcast, but I wanted to bring it up again for a quick discussion about it. Recently, I talked with a couple of my friends about sandwich places, right? A good sandwich place, right? So you got your Jimmy John's, your Subway, your Jersey Mike's, right? Even a Quiznos, right? And even Firehouse Subs, right? And so I have a certain place that I always go to and that I think reigns supreme over all. If let me reword it. I think the best sandwich place to go to, besides like a deli or whatever, is by far Jersey Mike's. Now, I want to start off this little debate by saying how garbage Firehouse Subs are. I've had one Firehouse Sub in my life, and it was the most soggy piece of bread and mushy lettuce and terrible tasting. I think I had salami. This was a year ago, and I still remember. Or if it was salami, it was turkey. And so when I bit into this sandwich, I threw up on the ground instantly. It wasn't like like a couple minutes later threw up. It hit my taste buds and my body told it to not eat anymore. So if anyone talks to me in the next week or so about how Firehouse Subs is good, you're wrong. I'm right. There is no debate about that. I'm not willing to debate anyone about Firehouse Subs. Now, the only competition to Jersey Mike's is Jimmy John's. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, what about Subway? Subway, it might make more money than all these sandwich places because I'm pretty sure Subway owns the most restaurants in the world. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they have the most fast food restaurants in the world, way more than McDonald's, if I'm correct. The thing about Subway that is so much different than the Jimmy John's and the Jersey Mike's experience is that it's 100% reliant on that goddamn person making that sandwich. I will never go to a Subway, and I've never been to a Subway and my sandwich tasted the same the last time I went there. It always tastes different. They always either had too much mayonnaise or too much tomatoes or too much of anything, or they put one slice of something or they put not enough. The people working at Subway are always high too, which I don't care about that. It's just like, come on, man. Not now, you know what I mean? It's like whenever I go to Jimmy John's has this over Jersey Mike's. Jimmy John's tastes the same every time I've went there throughout my 17 years of life. It always tastes the same, which it could be a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing because you're never not gonna get what you expect. You're getting always gonna get with your money's worth. It also might be a little bit more pricey than a Subway for being a smaller size, but the quality of the meat and bread, even at Jimmy John's, not even Jersey Mike's, is far superior to Subway. Now that I'm on the Jersey Mike's train, I would say that when it comes to hot and cold subs, Jersey Mike's leaves every sandwich place that is not a homemade place out of the water. Their Big Kahuna, I guess what's called the menu, it's like a Philly cheesesteak, is probably one of the best things I've ever had that's like in a fast food kind of way ever. And I just think it doesn't get as much recognition as a Subway or even a Jimmy John's. And I think it just saddens me because it dominates. You see them cooking. It's like it's a Chipotle or something. They're cooking the meat right in front of you, or else if you're getting a cold cut, they're slicing it right in front of you. Subway, Firehouse, I'm pretty sure. I haven't been to Firehouse in a couple years. I don't remember. The meat is just there, and it's been standing there for a while. It could be that could meat could be 5 minutes. It could be there. It could be there for 10 hours, and somehow it's always the same temperature. It's always cold somehow, which is I always find weird, even fresh out the gate. I've never had a Subway sandwich and go, wow, this is good. This is what it's always underwhelming. It's never gets to my expectations of what a sandwich should be. Now, what the Subway has over, I would say, all these places is price. You can get a foot long sub for probably the price of like a regular sub, or a pretty good sized sub at Jersey Mike's, but not nearly as big. Now, what I say to that is quality wise, it's just far less than even a Jimmy John's. It just irritates me, man. Jersey Mike's on top. It's been pretty weird talking about food for the last like 50 minutes. Um, I don't know. I guess I'm pretty good at talking about food. You should see my body. But talking about food for the past 50 minutes is very weird. I don't know how I'm able to do it, to be fair. And I think I'm making it entertaining, but you never know, right? And so I'm gonna watch this back and I'm either gonna love it or hate it. And I'm gonna probably not even really cut that much out of this episode. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna give you guys probably a raw cut in this episode. So you might hear a lot of jokes that aren't funny. And you can blame that on my mom and dad because they raised an unfunny child. But I feel like I'm getting much more comfortable talking to you guys really about anything. I'm not like, so like even today, like even though I said last Tuesday that I would come up with topics and this will be edited far better, I'm honestly digging this but low not low quality low effort type of podcasting because I can do this a couple times a week. I'm actually, let me just talk to you guys about something. Now I've been thinking about it. I can either do this type of podcast where I kind of just free ball it and I just come up with the topics, but like 20 minutes beforehand or whatever. And I can do this like a couple times a week. I can do this at least to 3 times a week if I ever feel like it. But if you guys want a more edited, like an hour and a half, hour long podcast every week that has better topics and it's more entertaining, I'm willing to do that also. But I just need you guys to let me know. Would you rather have me just kind of this low effort type of podcasting, or would you want me to do high effort but less episodes? I'll probably put that a poll on Twitter. By the way, if we're this far, please go to our Twitter and vote on whatever you think, whatever you agree with, whatever one of my opinions you agree with or disagree with. Also, you can leave comments. Make sure to subscribe to everything imaginable. I really want to get this podcast growing. I want to get a nice community going on here. Just want to thank you guys for listening, and that's been today's episode. So, peace.